Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. My name is Valerie and welcome to Val N Vibes. So for today's episode, we're going to be doing a makeup tutorial. Not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. I'm thinking something pink, but we'll see. And we're also going to do a talk through about one of the most important topics in anyone's spiritual practice or spiritual journey, which is the concept of gratitude. Gratitude is basically the idea of being thankful, or some people can look at it as like just a very deep appreciation for yourself and things around you and for different moments and people and for your experience down here on earth. All right, so next I'm gonna conceal underneath my eyebrows with this Nars Concealer. My goal isn't necessarily to like define gratitude to you all, because I know you guys all know what gratitude is. I feel like being thankful is a pretty common and understood concept. But I want to take this time in this video to talk a bit more deeply about the impact that gratitude actually has, the tangible impact, not only in our own lives, but in the lives of other people around us, the way we interact with our environment, the way we see our lives, the way we experience every single moment. I feel like it all kind of circles back to gratitude. All right, so next I'm going to conceal my eyelids. And then after I conceal them, I'm going to prime my eyelids with maybe like these two shades. They're kind of light, but like I said, I think I'm gonna do like pink or something. So we do need like a lighter tone up here. But yeah, I think it's pretty clear by the universal understanding, or at least knowledge of the word gratitude, just how important and pervasive this concept is. So for the pink, I'm going in with this Juvia's Place palette and with this pink tone right here. We're winking it. Ooh. We getting fancy. We're bringing it out. Like I said, we're winging it. We're winging it. Wouldn't it be so sad if I had to throw out this video because the makeup ended up not looking good? Just kidding, because that's not mindfulness. Because right now we're going to be mindful of this current moment and all the potential opportunity I have to make this look freaking pop. And that's actually a perfect segue into the major benefits I think that we receive from being grateful. We have the wonderful gift of mindfulness. All right, I'm about to use this shimmer tone right here from this NYX palette. There's so many instances and circumstances in our lives where, we can cause some shit. We can rouse some people up, we can ruffle some feathers, and we could really choose violence. But like, when you really move with true gratitude and mindfulness in your heart, I feel like you realize that you're really out here dealing with like other people the same way that you have patience with yourself on the mistakes that you've made and the times that you've misstepped or done things that don't align with where you want to be. People do that every single day that aren't you. Everybody's going through whatever challenges and things that they're going through, And I feel like having gratitude and moving with like a sense of mindfulness really gives you so much patience for other people, because when you see them and you're like, okay, I don't want to judge people on their worst moment. You got to protect yourself, but also, people evolve and people grow. But then there's also the whole idea of understanding that people are also on their growth journeys as well. Like, it's not really our place to judge another person as to where they are in their journey. It's really for us to decide like who we're going to allow in our energy, who we're going to continue to give our energy to and everything, who we're going to allow in our circle and stuff like that. Like, that's where we have more agency and stuff. But someone's existence, like where they are in their journey, that's between them. And I think when you encounter people who really work your nerves and stuff like that, it's really an opportunity to practice your patience and stuff, because all this gratitude and everything is really easy to show gratitude when someone's giving you something that you like, or someone's showing you a kindness and stuff. When someone really like pisses you off, to be like, bro, you're annoying, but you're here for a reason. I'm gonna let it be. That's some real stuff. And I'm not saying that you should be out here just letting people treat you any kind of way, because you definitely got to stand up for yourself, because people are really crazy out here and like will treat you any kind of way, especially when they think they can get away with it. But the truth of the matter is that most things in life really aren't worth it. You know, like a lot of people derive a lot of joy from getting under people's skin, because that's a way for them to be of relevance to people, you know. That's a way for them to kind of boost themselves up almost by putting other people down. So that whole idea of thankfulness and mindfulness, how it kind of gives you patience to deal with situations and people that might be a bit challenging. I think that's like a huge thing, because you can kind of see those situations and see almost a silver lining that comes along with it, whether it's like redirecting you to another opportunity that may reveal itself later on down the line, you know, showing you red flags that you maybe would have been more blind to if they weren't so in your face, you know, teaching you a lesson or allowing you to practice the different things that you said that you've learned. I think a lot of times, like I was saying, it's easy to show gratitude towards the great things that have happened, you know. It's really, really challenging to look at experiences that have broken you, to look at people who have done you wrong, and to be like, I'm low-key glad that happened because I learned from it, you know. It's not something that all of us can do immediately and stuff, because I think that going through those processes and like allowing yourself to feel the emotions and all that kind of stuff is very natural and very warranted so you can heal properly. But in taking the time and the step to understand that nobody is ever worth your peace, is never worth getting out of character and things of that like for, I think it's a lot easier for you to kind of see them outside of the irritant that they've been for you or whatever the situation's been for you, and take it as an opportunity to practice patience, which is another huge tenet across all spiritual or religious realms. Because the thing about the universe is that karma very much is real. So what goes around comes around. If someone does you dirty, or if some sort of situation happens and stuff, like, they're gonna get their consequences. And sometimes it happens in indirect ways. Sometimes it happens in direct ways. And I mean, if you handle it, then that's a direct consequence and karma to them right there. But sometimes it's not for you to handle, you know? Sometimes it really does behoove you to just, you know, hold your own and everything, and not lose your head in a situation, especially over something that really doesn't matter long term. In situations where it does matter, or if you feel like it's that deep, then do what you gotta do. But in most situations, you find that it probably isn't. But yeah, patience is a virtue and also a consequence of gratitude. Now I'm back with this NYX palette, and I'm gonna add some gradient to the shimmer. It was looking good, and I think I messed it up. I'm just gonna do lashes and liner. I messed up really bad. I messed up my eyeliner, and then I tried to fix it with a cotton swab, and then I just spread out the eyeliner. But you know, patience.
It went from worse to worse, sir.
Patience, you know? But yeah, like I was saying, gratitude and mindfulness is really important for helping you navigate through situations that are less than ideal. It kind of gives you the chance to kind of take a step back and appreciate the fact that we're still here. I still got all this makeup. I'm not really rushing anywhere, so I have time. It's not the worst thing in the world. But like I was saying, like, if everything always went my way, then when would I have the time to, or the chance to genuinely practice that gratitude? You know, like, when things don't go your way, then those are the chances or the opportunities that you get to practice it when it's actually a challenge, when it's actually a test. Obviously, if someone gives you $100 or $1 million, then, oh my God, thank you so much. This, even though, can't lie, it's irritating, it's life, and shoot, a great real life example of what I'm literally talking to y'all about. So I guess for that, I can be grateful. And like I was saying in the clip before I destroyed my eyeshadow look, you know, I wasn't even 100% even feeling what I did, especially on this eye. When it came to the shimmer, that's when I really messed up. So, hey, an opportunity to start again. So we're back again with the Juvia's Place palette with this pink tone. This shimmer tone is terrorizing my stuff. I don't want to show y'all my counter because it's very dramatic. But you know, we're grateful. God day. We're getting back into it. This side even looks better than the other one. Low key. Lastly, adding to the idea of patience before I move on, I think that another byproduct of gratitude and the patience that come with it, or that comes with it, is the idea of kindness as well. I think that when you really are just appreciative and grateful for your existence down here, then I think that also means that you'll probably be thankful for everything else that, you know, God basically put down here to coexist with us. When you're truly grateful, then I feel like you'll see that you're truly a bit more kind to yourself. You're kinder to the people that you interact with. You're kinder to the environment and to the different elements that we interact with, just because they're the product of the same creation that created you. So the same way that you should be treasuring yourself and all the different experiences and all the different moments that you have, you should also be expressing that same kind of kindness towards other people and patience for whatever stage and phase that they're currently in their journey as well. And that kindness for yourself, that is so important, because I think a lot of times it's overlooked because we look at ourselves in terms of like the productivity or the accomplishments that we've made. And I feel like a lot of times that can make us not truly appreciate the value that we bring to the world and just the intrinsic value of your existence. You know, I think obviously there's a lot of us out here, so there's a lot of us, but each of us really are valuable and are important. When you're truly grateful for yourself, then you got to be kind to yourself. You know, you got to treat yourself with love. You got to treat yourself with care. That's where the whole idea of self-love and care and all that stuff becomes so important, because when you're truly grateful for your existence and for your opportunity to be down here, then it's just natural. We're almost there, y'all. We're almost caught up. But being grateful for yourself is not only for the moments where you're accomplishing like amazing feats or you are achieving great milestones. Like, you can also be thankful for nothing going on in your life as well. Like the fact that you woke up this morning and, you know, your house wasn't burning down. You know, whatever, there's so many things that can happen to us. There's like so many random things that can happen to us. Like, I don't think a lot of times we even take the time to truly appreciate when there's nothing significant going on. Like, if you're just chilling and there's nothing stressing you or nothing majorly pressing that's like a major shock to your life, like, be appreciative of those moments of nothing. Be appreciative of the opportunity and the potential within yourself and the opportunity to make that nothing into like some amazing happening that you'll be proud of how many years down the line. There's so much to be appreciative of and to be thankful for when it comes to just our existence as a whole. More than anything, it's really, really important that you display patience and kindness to yourself. And we're back on track. I did slightly mess up right here, but I decided just to not burn the house down again this time. It can be a beauty mark. But we're gonna go ahead and go with the lashes. All right, so to start with our face, we're gonna start with this e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. Another benefit of gratitude is that through studies, it's consistently been associated with positive social, psychological, and health states, such as an increased likelihood of helping people, increased optimism, an increased likelihood to go and exercise, and just overall less physical symptoms. All right, so next I'm gonna add some foundation. So this is my Nars Foundation in New Caledonia. There's also been a number of different studies that have looked directly at how gratitudes or practicing gratitude can impact one's mental health. There was one study that I found that was done in Berkeley where it found about 300 participants. Most of them were college students, and all of them were in search of some sort of mental health counseling or help with whatever situation or problem they were currently traversing. So they split this group into 3 different groups. So the first group basically had a writing prompt that asked them to look at or to write about what they're grateful for about another person. The other group had a writing prompt to talk about things that are really deep and emotional experiences and feelings that they have that could be negative. And then there was the third group that didn't have a writing prompt. All right, I'm about to highlight with my Nars Concealer. But in the experiment, they found that those who wrote about gratitudes as opposed to those who either didn't do a writing experiment or wrote about deep feelings and negative experiences, they showed more progress in terms of their mental health in 4 and I think 12-week checkpoints for the experiment. So when they came back and asked the people or the participants of the studies how they were doing and how their mental health was doing after their counseling, they were basically able to kind of rank based on the participants' responses what type of counseling had a better effect. And they found that those who had gratitude as part of their counseling actually reported having better mental health progression in their counseling sessions. They basically found from this study that gratitudes have a positive impact on the negative experiences that we basically have harbored and internalized. Also, that the benefits of gratitude take time. When they did those 2 separate checkpoints at the 4-week mark and the 12-week mark, they found that the difference in the mental health progress from those who hadn't done a writing exercise at all or those who had wrote about negative things versus those who had wrote their gratitudes had actually widened. So the impact of writing about those gratitudes actually increased over time. So that's basically to show that it's important when you're practicing gratitudes or if you're just getting into it to have patience with yourself. It's not going to change your mindset and all that stuff over like night. It's going to take some time, you know? And then the last thing that I also kind of pointed at was that it maybe actually does have lasting impacts on our overall brain development and our overall brain structure. And they also found that there also might be, you know, a neurological or a brain effect that comes with increased levels of gratitude. There was another study where they were specifically looking at an fMRI scanner and looking at participants' brains when they were given a certain sum of money by like a benefactor who was part of the experiment. And they were told that it was up to them to do whatever they wanted to do with the money. If they wanted to give some of that money or all of that money to people in need or something like that inside the experiment, then they could do so, but only if they were doing it because they were truly grateful for receiving that money. They didn't want people to give the money to people out of like a feeling of obligation or guilt. And they found that when they scanned the brains of the people who were giving the money out of genuine gratefulness, that there was a greater neural sensitivity in their pre-medial frontal cortex. Did I get that right? Yes, I did. And basically that was kind of showing that people who practice gratitude more often are more likely to continue to practice that gratitude because that specific part of the brain is associated with learning and decision making. So the people who are more likely to give back that money are people who most likely practice gratitude on a daily basis, if that makes sense. So that kind of goes to the point that gratitude itself is actually something to be cultivated. It's not something that we're all just naturally like, you know, born with. Like going back to the early examples I was talking about, when you're in situations, less ideal situations, or dealing with less ideal people, those are true tests of gratitude and everything, because it's easy to be grateful for positive things or things that we would have liked or that we're moving to according to what we would have wanted, you know? But it's another thing altogether to practice gratitude in situations where you have to be somewhat self-sacrificing, or you have to be the bigger person, or you're dealing with something that you don't want to deal with at all, or something that's just annoying, just that overall patience and that sense of genuine gratitude that you carry consistently through your life is something to be built and developed. It's not an overnight kind of thing. All right, now I'm going to contour with this LA Girl Pro Concealer. But that's just to say that there are a lot of benefits that come along with gratitude, and specifically when we're looking at health and wellness benefits, specifically mental health. It's important for us to take a step back and to realize that a huge determinant as to how we experience our lives is how we choose to process our lives, And I feel like that's why in those specific experiences or experiments where the researcher was looking at people who specifically were looking for counseling, when they incorporated gratitudes into their counseling sessions and into their overall program for those participants and for those who were seeking counseling, they saw a significant change, and the difference in the benefits only grew over time. Because like we saw in the other experiment where they were doing the fMRI machine and scanning people's brains when they were choosing to either give money out because of gratefulness or obligation versus guilt, when you truly are grateful and you continue to develop and cultivate that over weeks of a session where you're told to write down what you're grateful for, not only just about yourself, but another person, like you're training that part of your mind to start seeing the positive in life, to start seeing the good in other people, even when it's not the most overt thing, or even when you don't know their whole story. So you don't know all that makes them great, but the fact that they're here, the fact that they exist, the way that you just happen to exist and you're grateful for that, you're also grateful for their existence. Because even though you don't know them, even though your experience with them may not have been positive, I assure you they're probably a blessing in another person's life, or have a really important purpose or a key purpose in the progression of whatever this story is in our universe, So I think that's why it's really important to kind of take a step back and realize that gratitude is more than just frivolously saying thank you, It's about understanding that none of this has to be. None of us actually even have to exist. The fact that I'm even sitting here speaking to you, the fact that I'm sitting here looking at my phone, looking at myself, speaking to you, preparing to post this later, I didn't have to exist. And for that reason, I can't be anything less or anything short of grateful. All right. Now we're doing the powders. So first, I'm gonna do my little blush trick for my setting powder. But yes, continuing on the whole idea of gratitude, beyond just the mental health benefits of it, kind of like I was kind of getting at, it helps you begin to see life from a different perspective, And I think that's the whole point of gratitude, to realize that everything is not always going to go according to your plan. And to realize that whatever your plan is, although it may make sense in your mind, there's so many other forces and moving pieces in our universe that you can not control for, you couldn't possibly ever know, So it's like, as we move through our life and make the different decisions that we make, we also have to be humble to the fact that we don't know everything that's going on around us. We can't control for every factor that we couldn't possibly even see, So that kind of goes with the idea of kind of having faith, having faith that we have a purpose, having faith that there's a purpose behind all the things that are going on. But then with having that faith, you also have to be humble to the fact that we're but a part of this whole story, our contributions are but a part of this whole entire story that is unfolding moment by moment in front of us, And sometimes there's certain things in our plans that we want to have, come to fruition, or we want to see happen for ourselves and everything. But it takes a lot of gratitude and patience to understand that just because it's our plan doesn't mean that it fits within the overall plan. And to be humble to understand that sometimes when things don't work out for us, or sometimes when things do work out for us, is because it's meant to be that way, you know? It's meant to teach us certain things, or to push us and propel us in certain directions, or to reinforce certain ideas, or maybe steer us in different directions, you know? Everything really does happen for a reason. And I feel like when you live with a mindset of gratitude, coupled with that humility that I believe is kind of a consequence of gratitude to an extent, you know, it's a lot easier for you to navigate through difficult times and through difficult challenges that you go through, because you realize that, yeah, dang, that was unfortunate. Dang, that's not what I wanted. I worked really hard for this, or I really prayed for this and hoped for this. That maybe wasn't the plan, and maybe wasn't going to bring about the outcome that you're hoping for, or maybe wasn't going to bring about the blessings that are waiting for you on the other side of that door that has redirected you to, you know? I think having gratitude allows you to see that other door that is now available to you. When you're stuck in a mindset of like, dang, I wish this happened, or how come this person has this and not me, or just other negative like emotions, I believe that gratitude really is the solution, because you realize that you really do have everything that you could ever need. And if you're willing to capitalize on that, if you're willing to be mindful and look around and see all the opportunities at your fingertips, then literally so much amazing things can happen. Literally magic can happen, you know? And I feel like that's the blessing of gratitude. That's the blessing of mindfulness. That's the blessing of patience and all that stuff overall, giving you a bit more control over the way that you respond to different experiences and the different things that occur in your life, you know? All right, I'm back in this other Juvia's Place palette, and I'm using this tone right here as my contour. All right, almost done. Now we're gonna blush up and highlight. But yes, this brings us to our last benefit, or the last benefit I'm gonna go over of gratitude. And that's the peace that comes with it. And I feel like I saw this quote when I was doing the research for this video, and it was basically saying that we need to be grateful for nothing. And I think I said this earlier in the video, but I think one of the key things with gratitude is that it kind of helps us remove ourselves from a place of lack, or a place of feeling like we need something more, or we need things in addition to ourselves and whatever else we've already been blessed with to be happy or to be content with our life. I feel like when we're in a place where we feel like we always need more, or always in need of something more, then it's a lot harder for, I feel like, God or the universe to bless us with more, because they know that when your mindset or your heart is in a place of lack rather than gratitude, like, that need for more is insatiable. Is always going to be more. You know, you're always going to want more, or you're always going to want what someone else has, or regret what you didn't do to bring something that you don't have right now, instead of looking around and being mindful of all the blessings that you have currently with you. I think being grateful is really important for kind of bringing you a sense of peace, because it gives you peace with whatever you already are, and whatever stage that you're currently at, and whatever blessings that you have, and whatever opportunities are coming to you, and gives you the right state of mind to capitalize on those and to bring whatever you're hoping for to life. Like, you have to realize that your life is nobody else's life, so you can't look at anybody else's life and be like, I need this to happen for me to live a certain kind of way, or I need this to happen for my life to be a success, because you don't need that thing to happen. Whatever you need to happen will be, you know? Moving from a place of lack is only going to bring you somewhat lackluster experiences, or bring you experiences that could be amazing, but you're not going to be able to treasure the beautiful nature of it, or to truly treat it with the gratitude that it deserves, because you're already thinking about the next thing that you want, or the next experience that you want to acquire, or the next thing that you want to buy, instead of really taking the time to be mindful and gracious for whatever things that you already have, you know? And I think the overall peace that comes along with gratitude is honestly the biggest benefit for me. Like, it really helps you get through issues with jealousy and regret and all these other negative, toxic emotions that kind of drag us down and bring down the vibe. You know, I feel like gratitude is literally one of the most uplifting emotions and ideas that we can subscribe to right next to love, you know? So I think it's of great value and really important that we take the steps to really recognize all the blessings that we have been afforded and show our true appreciation for the blessings that we have by not ignoring them, you know, by taking the steps to actually bring them from a place of just like potential, you know, to an actual tangible part of our lives. All right, so for highlight, I'm going in with this tone right here from my NYX palette. Ooh, these lashes are big, getting in the way. All right, now a little bit of nose highlight. All right, I think, what y'all think? I think we're about done. I think we did something cute today. All right, y'all, we are all back with the finished look with the pink eyeshadow and the dramatic lashes. But thank you all so much for making it to the end of this video. For some final thoughts about gratitude, I just really believe that it's so important for us to all make sure that gratitude is just a central focus in whatever our spiritual journey or our spiritual practices look like. It's just really important for making sure that we have the right kind of state of mind when we're approaching different challenges and even positive things in our lives, to make sure that we're mindful enough to recognize all the blessings around us, that we're patient enough to treat others and ourselves with kindness, and that we're also humble enough to realize that we don't have all the answers, we don't know everything, but we're grateful for the opportunity to learn. We're grateful for the opportunity to be here and exist, and we're grateful for the opportunity to grow and to evolve. I believe that all of us have so much power and so much potential within us, and when we're willing to look around us and to, you know, actually capitalize on the blessings around us, then literally so many amazing things can happen. Like you all saw in the video today, like I messed up my eye. Like low key though, I'm pretty sure this eye actually looks better when you look at the eyeshadow. And I was really annoyed, stopped the video for a second, but I was like, we gotta keep going because you never know. Like low key, the look was kind of cute and I was kind of killing it. And I'm like, this is not worth, it's not worth it to stop the video, you know? But if I had stopped the video, then you wouldn't be watching me right now. You know what I mean? Low key, what happened was just like a perfect example for gratitude, you know? Like, to be honest, I have to show myself a lot of gratitude for even starting this channel. This has been a dream of mine for a very, very long time. Like I was saying, like I'm not a professional makeup artist. I learned this on YouTube. Like I grew up watching YouTube and watching all these other like beauty influencers like Jackie Aina and Patricia Bright and all that kind of stuff, like grow up and blow up on their different pages, inspiring young ladies just like me to go out and have the courage to do different things like that. So for that reason, I'm grateful for the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you all, that I'm grateful to myself that I gave myself the patience to continue moving forward with this video, and I gave myself the patience to make mistakes and not be perfect with my first videos, because you know, nothing's going to be perfect when you first start. But when you have patience with yourself and you're grateful and show gratitude for the opportunity to grow and to continue to do better, then we start seeing the fruits of our labors grow. There's lessons and so many patterns and metaphors all around us, you know? And when you're mindful and you start picking up on the signs, then it's a lot easier for you to kind of begin to pick up on what your natural inclinations are, what your natural talents are, the different resources that are all around you, and the different sources of inspiration all around you. It helps you feel a bit more at one with the universe, because you realize that the whole idea of separateness is an illusion at best. Like, we all really are in this together, you know? And you almost become more grateful for the fact of that simple truth, you know? Like the fact that you don't have to do this by yourself, the fact that you are being supported by other people, like, it's honestly such a beautiful thing and something to be so grateful for. And all of us have our different crosses that we have to bear and different challenges that we have to confront in daily life. So this isn't to be like, you should be grateful when you go through bad things, because you know, obviously, no, I'm not saying that, you know, but I'm just saying that we all really do have different challenges that we have to traverse through our journeys, you know. But I believe that living a life with gratitude is the best way for us to experience life in the most positive way possible and experience life in the most fruitful way possible. But yes, that's all I have for y'all today. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. It means a lot. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.